Honestly, the look on his face, his energy, I'm not really getting the fact that he wants to be here, so I'm just gonna like pack up my stuff real quick and we can get out. Or maybe I shouldn't pack it at all.
Uh-oh, it looks like we have a lady on the horizon who's ready to pull a Zach Justice and refuse to move into that marital apartment. That's right, guys. This episode is titled Poised for Battle, and that's because Domynique is ready to fight her way to make it seem like she's the right one here for not wanting to move in. She's going to find every little thing that she can find wrong with Mag. And in the words of Pastor Cal,
so what?
That's right, Dom. You're not going to find favor with Pastor Cal. He means business this episode, and neither are you, Gina. But before we get into all of that, let's get into a little bit of MAFS news. And this news is actually centered around a couple from this episode.
We have been intimate this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's right. We have our first Nashville couple who has done the deed. Chris and Nicole. No shocker here. They're the only ones who actually like each other.
It just started, so, you know, as soon as you guys are out of here, maybe maybe we wrap this up a little early.
So last night, it looked like Dom had 2 feet out the door with this marriage. And it looks like Gina definitely has at least 1 foot out the door. Gina keeps hounding on their lack of physical intimacy. Okay, we get it. But she is saying that she is not ready to move in because she feels very uncomfortable. She's out of her comfort zone. Well, Gina, I need to remind you that you did, in fact, marry a stranger, okay? And I owe Clint, you know, a big apology, I feel like, because he's saying all the right things and he's reminding her, look, this is marriage. This is what we signed up for when we married a stranger.
Sometimes you got to be a little uncomfortable to work through things, and we got to be open. We got to be upfront. You know, the physical attraction thing isn't there.
Yeah.
But did we commit? Did we say we're going to get married to a stranger? Yes. Maybe there is growth that can happen. So I want to stick it out and see what happens.
So Clint looks like he's telling Gina how it is in a very gentle way. And I love when we actually see one of the experts show up. And last night we had Pastor Cal swooping in with all of his words of wisdom. And, you know, Pastor Cal did make a lot of sense last night. And he wasn't ready to let Gina, little Miss Gina, off the hook so easy.
I understand here that
you didn't move in.
Yeah, I just feel like it would be more beneficial for us to like spend a little more time really getting to know each other without the pressure of feeling like we need to check off a box.
I understand how you feel that way.
Yeah,
but that's not right.
I love when Cal doesn't fall for the little whiny speech of like, look, I'm the right spouse here. He didn't fall for it once, and he delivered a punch to Gina that hit her to her core. And in fact, he even reminded her, look, Gina, it looks like you could use a little more fun in your life. You know, you're all about work. And, you know, that's why we paired you up with Clint. And this, I think, hit a little deep with her because then she kind of started crying and was like, yeah, you know, I could use a little more fun in my life, or, you know, so she kind of saw the light, but she's still reminding us, hey, I'm not ready to move in, but and Cal's like, well, we'll just do it one day at a time. So she is going to move in, but they're going to like sleep in separate bedrooms. And, you know, Clint's doing and saying all the right things. So kudos to you, Clint. And speaking of seeing the light, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my old pal, Airris.
If he was like this side, like this was my puppy, I would let him lay in the bed with me.
See, I told you. Knowing that he's like enjoying the puppies in that aspect of my life, it makes me feel more attracted to him.
Whoa, easy there, Jasmine. Now we know that Airris's whole theme has been, she's so attracted to me and I'm not that attracted to her. I mean, she's a beauty queen and, you know, she's gorgeous and all that, but she's not his type. You know, he likes a big butt, and that's really the only thing we know about why Airris doesn't apparently like Jasmine. So when Cal visits, you know, Cal just is like, hey, do you think she's attractive? And he's like, yeah, she's attractive. And then he again goes on like if, you know, I was in an accident, or he goes right to like the big catastrophe that would happen, you know, she would wipe my butt and she would take care of our kids. So Cal's like, focus on those values. You know, those are the things that you need to focus on. And, you know, with that, it was all of a sudden like Airris saw the light.
I feel like y'all matched me for what I needed. And I feel like I understand. I get it.
Now, you guys, I'm going to admit something that I really don't want to admit to. A few videos back, or at least maybe my very first MAFS video for this season, I did mention that the couple I was most excited about was Domynique and Mac. But I do think that her and her match seem like off the jump that they're going to be the most successful couple. Just, I don't know, just something tells me about it. We'll see. Man, I really nailed that one, didn't I? Let's check in on the happy couple.
And I don't think you've asked once about my dogs either.
Really, we're gonna have an argument about your dogs? It's like there's so much more to be talked about.
Crap, they're arguing about dogs. So we know that Domynique has been complaining left and right about everything that Mac has been saying. And I will give myself credit for last video of mine where I said, you know, I think Mac is starting to check out. I did say that. And I picked up on it last episode because, you know, there's only so much Mac can take of Domynique complaining about him. And then finally, this episode, after, you know, the tension just keeps building and building and building, he finally admits, like, I pretty much, you know, spiraled after the honeymoon.
I just feel like complete since the honeymoon. That I ruined your time, that I'm some super negative who
I mean, you don't
cracks
think that
bad
I
jokes.
feel bad? Like, I felt quite too, so.
I'm not sure why. Like, I didn't make a single complaint about you.
Unless the producers are being really evil here and leaving out Mac, you know, talking all this crap about Domynique, I haven't seen it. He hasn't really said anything negative about her. So I'm sorry, Domynique, but I am definitely on Mac's side here. Yeah, it's given a little bit of Alyssa vibes, you know, where Alyssa was a bit delusional and she was finding everything to pick apart, you know, on poor old Chris was his name. And, you know, finally the producer stepped in and was like, this is what you signed up for, basically. Okay.
So you're going to bring all this stuff back down to your car? Yeah.
I think we both need our space. So I guess we'll wait to see what Pastor Cal has to say.
Oh, crap. It's never good when the producers step in, guys.
1 hour later.
I wanted someone who was more established, like secure in their place, where they are in life.
So what?
Yep, Pastor Cal is not letting old Domynique off the hook, just like he didn't let Gina off the hook. Only with Gina deciding that she's going to maybe stay and work it out, it doesn't look like Domynique is going to do the same thing, guys.
Honestly, like, I'm just kind of over it.
And we're kind of over you right now, Domynique. And our first spousey goes to Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal, you had lots of gems of wisdom last night. I loved it when you told Gina, let's call it what it actually would be, a step towards your demise. And that's exactly what it would be. I don't know why these couples think it's cool to be like, hey, we are moving in together and now we're going to live apart. Or we're not even going to move in at all. I'm just going to live in my own apartment. And I think that would be better. No, you signed up for Married at First Sight. The whole thing is you're living with your new spouse. So deal with it. Okay, rant over. Next spousey goes to Clint. I thought that I would only give Clint the spousey award one time way back when. But Clint, I mean, he is showing up. He really is, guys. He is telling Gina, hey, you know, this is what we signed up for. So again, Clint, I don't need to beat a dead horse, okay? And number 3 spousey goes to Nicole's dog, Charlie. Nicole's dog, Charlie, you're going to be living with Nicole's dad. So kudos to you. And you got a nice temperament. Chris's dogs were bigger than you and you did well in the park. So good job. Good job, Charlie. All right. And now moving on to our Lousy Awards. First Lousy Award goes to Domynique. Domynique, I don't know why you signed up for this show. Oh, that's right. You didn't sign up for the show. Your mom signed you up for this show. They gave you somebody who's established. Yeah, he might be living in a basement right now, but he's got good reason for it. And you said you'd rather him be living with 4 dudes. No, he's not in a frat house. Okay, Domynique. And our next Lousy Award goes to Gina. Gina seems like she's up on the board as much as Airris these days, because I'm kind of over her facial expressions of just like, I don't think I want to be doing this, or I don't feel comfortable. Gina, I don't need to, again, beat a dead horse here. This is why you signed up for this show. Oh, my blood is boiling. Okay. Our last Lousy Award goes to Zach Justice. I didn't think I'd have to see Zach's smug little face since his season, but I feel like Zach is the one who set the precedent here, guys. He's the one who decided, he took it upon himself. Hey, I'm not going to move into that neutral apartment with Mindy because, I just don't want to. I don't think it's necessary. And, MAFS producers were like, no, buddy, this is part of the process, And then do you remember? And I loved it when Zach was like, okay, he came over for like game night with Mindy one night and she thought it was like the best thing ever. And he even brought over a pair of sweatpants and put them in a drawer. And Mindy took that as like this big sign that things were on the right track. Well, when Zach moved out, he's like, I guess I'll just pack my things and go. And then he left with said one pair of sweatpants. Well, Zach has set the precedent here for future MAFS cast members to think that this is okay behavior, and it's not. It's not okay behavior, Domynique, and it's not okay behavior, Clint, or not okay behavior, Gina. Okay? And let's be mindful that unless there was some horrible scenario like a Paige and Chris scenario, where, Paige shouldn't be staying in an apartment where there's basically emotional abuse going on. Okay. But that's not the case here. They're just simply out of their comfort zone. Well, that's what you signed up for, ladies. And I've ranted enough. Okay, guys. So let me know what you thought of this episode. And these people, I tell you, I'm a glutton for punishment. So, all right, guys, I've rambled on enough. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.